Take it off. A common phrase heard in my line of work. I am a burlesque performer, and for the past 2 decades, I have been traveling the world spreading the good news of burlesque. As someone who grew up in an evangelical home, I consider myself a missionary of sorts. If you are unfamiliar with burlesque, think classic striptease a la Gypsy Rose Lee, Josephine Baker, Sally Rand. A little bump and grind, boas and tassels, and a rowdy yet appreciative audience. I lived and breathed burlesque as a performer, instructor, and producer. Through my events and classes, I helped people to feel empowered and confident in their bodies and encouraged the audience to embrace their sensuality. But I felt like a fraud. I was hiding a secret that was holding me back from embracing my own confidence. I began losing my hair at the age of 6. My mom found a spot on my head and began taking me to all of the doctors. After countless blood tests, I was diagnosed with Alopecia-Areata, an autoimmune disease that attacks your hair follicles. For me, it attacked my eyelashes and eyebrows and the hair on my head. Unfortunately for me, it never affected the hair on my upper lip. Turns out that my Sicilian heritage is no match for alopecia. I remember my mom counting the hairs on my pillow. Oh, today is only 100. That was a good day. I think that it upset her more than me. I was just a kid who wanted to play. She had me fitted for a wig, and it promptly flew off my head the first day I wore it during a rousing game of Duck, Duck, Goose. I came home that day with my wig askew and a tear-stained face, and I vowed never to cover up again. But that vow was difficult to keep in my teens when I suddenly became self-aware. What I lacked in hair, I made up for in personality, but it was a struggle. I wanted to be liked and loved and desired, validated. I suppose that's what drove me to my career in entertainment. For me, my version of alopecia has cycles. Some days I have hair, and then a few months later, I don't. I have had all the hair stories you can imagine. A cute sassy bob, long locks, a patchwork quilt, a mohawk, and this soon-to-be Betty Boop moment. This uncertainty stuck with me throughout my performance career. I had crafted an image that I desperately tried to cling to, but as we all know, life has different plans for us, no matter our best intentions. At what I thought was the height of my career, I began losing my hair again. Just when I thought I was passing as a normal girl who could brush her hair and have most of it remain on her head, I started to find it in the shower, on the floor, in the sink, in my hands. I was in a full panic. How was I supposed to be this symbol of confidence and empowerment while I was going bald? Alopecia took over my life. Every month for 2 years, I had steroid shots injected into my scalp. And when those didn't work, I switched to an anti-inflammatory diet, started taking supplements, went to acupuncture, meditated. Nothing was working. I was miserable, and no one knew about it. Not even my close friends. I was covering up, and I was ashamed. Eventually, I couldn't handle the burden anymore. My diet was so strict that I dropped to 105 pounds. I caught myself in the mirror and I was shocked. I knew right then that it was time for me to stop chasing hair. I had to reveal my secret. I need to share something with you. I have alopecia. I showed that video in its entirety in 2018. It's called The Big Reveal, and I haven't looked back since. The first time I performed without a wig was in Los Angeles in front of 2,000 people. I guess I never do anything small. I was so nervous before the show, and afterwards, I felt so strong and so powerful. I had just performed as I was, with little wisps of hair in the face of today's impossible beauty standards. However, it hasn't always been easy for me to stick to that decision. Backstage, I would be with the most beautiful people you have ever seen, and I would start to doubt my choices. But then I saw that they were struggling with their own insecurities and performing confidence. And this realization broke my heart. Are we all just performing confidence? How can we really feel it? Up until the big reveal, I had only truly felt confident on stage. And I know that might sound strange, that the only time I felt confident is when I was taking off my clothes, but it felt safe. It was 5 minutes of time where I could control the narrative and say what I wanted to say without speaking a word. And when I took off my wig, I found my confidence off stage. Through losing my hair, I found myself. I have learned that confidence cannot be tied to the external. Our health, our relationships, our careers, our bank accounts, those things can all change. Confidence has to be tied to something deeper. Our authenticity, our freedom from shame, our willingness to show up and not have all the answers. It doesn't call for us to be grandiose and show off. It asks us to be still and quiet and know our true selves and live that version without apology. Imagine right now if you were to reveal your authentic self and you found love and acceptance for that part of you you think doesn't deserve it, because it does. Confidence trades in love, not fear. Remove your proverbial wig. Take it off.